The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. You landed here and it's no mistake. You best believe this could be your break. Rub-a-dub-dub, check out the hubs inside. A winning team is here to be your guide. Oh, my friend, you've been looking for a brand new day. I got good news, only a click away. You can click on any hub, 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 hub. You are sure to feel the love, 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 love. Got some stories in my book, hope you'll take the time and look. The message in this simple read: teens, young adults, help them succeed. Scroll on down, got more to say. Go blogs, let's take it away. And if you choose not to do a thing that will ever cause me not to win, when you know your worth, no need to beg. Selling with no pressure is more fun. Instead, financial freedom has been calling you. Come join a hub, see what it will do. Come on and dance along with me. We going to the next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level. 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 Next level with Keith. The next level. The next level. The next level. Next level with Keith. And if you choose not to do a thing that will ever cause me not to win, when you know your worth, no need to beg. Selling with no pressure is more fun. Instead, the next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith. The next level, the next level, the next level, next level with Keith.
All right, I think we can begin. I think.
Welcome to the next level with Keith, where clarity replaces confusion and simple systems lead to real freedom. Every episode begins with intention, music that centers your mind, lifts your spirit, and prepares you for transformation. This is your space for growth, your place to reset, your moment to rise. Rethinking your thinking, because when you shift your mind, you shift your money. Stack and grow, where small intentional steps turn into lasting wins. Simple strategies, real progress. Your circle, your currency, because your network matters. Mobile money moves, business, income, and empowerment from the device in your pocket. This isn't just talk, it's guidance, it's strategy, it's movement. Welcome to the next level with Keith. Let's begin.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, 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 welcome to the next level with Keith, episode 15. I was talking about April 6th, 2026. Yes, I'm excited again to be here and another great night I'm looking forward to having with you. And I'm telling you, folks, it is going by fast. And tonight again is going to be one of those segments where I will be just saying some things that comes to my mind, my spirit. All right. Oftentimes we see ourselves as just a physicality or just a physical specimen, but we're layered people. We dream. We can see things beyond even when we are asleep, even when the body's supposedly asleep and supposedly dead. We can dream and see things, and that's phenomenal. But before we begin, again, I want to be very aware that there are folks who are spending time to come and watch this segment here, this podcast. And believe me, it says a lot. It means a lot, all right? I am grateful, all right? And I don't wait for the big numbers for me to be thankful. And wherever you are, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on TikTok, wherever you are, and wherever you're watching this from, I appreciate you. And I would like for you to put in the comment exactly where you're watching from. Could be a state, could be a country. I would love to get those information just to see how it's affecting folks around the globe. All right. I think it's pretty cool. And again, I would say that sometimes you get unsubscribed and you're not sure why. It's just the way it is. It's man-made, and sometimes things happen. So you always want to make sure that you are subscribed. So sometimes do it again. We subscribe again, hit that subscribe and hit that bell to make sure that you are subscribed. Yes, yes, yes. So I am back with episode 15. And this title to me is one that's maybe a bit provocative, but I think it's needed. I think it's timely, and I think it's worth talking about. And this week's segment, I'll be addressing this title: Freedom Chasers. How's Plan B going? All right. Sometimes we got to do an assessment and see, you know what? With all I've known, with all I've seen, do I have a plan B in place? And if I do, how is it going? All right. But before we get into the segment tonight, I want to kind of revert back to something that I started last week. And I introduced an activity that I thought was interesting. And I say, you know what? This activity I'm going to do myself. I'm going to try it myself. And so you would have it. I'm on vacation starting started last Friday. I'm like, wait a minute. Perfect time, right? Perfect time. So it was a 5 day, 4 day, 5 day challenge, right? And it was to track how you spend your time. All right. Because see, you probably heard it before that you can reclaim money, you can reclaim maybe your health, you can reclaim a lot of things, but you can't reclaim time. When time passes you by and you didn't take advantage of time, you can't go and get it back. All right. So that's one of the most important things we have in our lives. It's time and how we use time, how we utilize that. Because I'm telling you, time, as I say, waits on no one. So it was to kind of track how you spend your time. And it was to identify 1 hour daily to reclaim, right? 1 hour. Because sometimes we don't know how much time we're wasting away or not utilizing because we're not checking. We're not doing an inventory. All right. So we are to identify 1 hour daily to reclaim. The other one is to replace consumption with creation. All right. So how about creating something new? All right. That's important. The other one is apply one thing you learn daily. One thing you learn daily. And five is review your progress at the end of the day. All right. So all these things is supposed to take place each day. All right. Track how you spend your time. All right. Identify 1 hour daily to reclaim. Replace consumption with creation. Apply one thing you learn daily and renew your progress at the end of the day. So tell me, do you want to hear how my day went? Tell me, do you want to hear how my second day went? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. All right. So this is how I started my morning. All right. I started off about 6 o'clock. Right, about 6 o'clock, and what I did my morning meditation, of course. All right. I did my morning meditation, and I went back to something I learned when I was a young child. I read from Psalm 23rd or the 23, 23rd, we say, back then. Psalm 23rd. All right. In fact, I played it, was audio. So I didn't really necessarily read it. So it was audio. I like audio stuff. So I listened to that and then I meditated a little bit, think, kind of just getting that space of being grateful, and understanding that, listen, a lot of things that we want in life, right? Think about a lot of things that we desire in life. Sometimes we approach it and we sometimes feel alone in that approach. But this song reminded me that, you know, the Lord is my shepherd, right? I shall not want. So I'm not overly anxious for anything. I'm not overly, desperate. I'm not trying to, look only to my own wisdom, my own, knowledge, but there's an outside entity that I kind of realize that is a major driving force as far as all that I do, right? My understanding of where this creator, this amazing designer, right? How he has, I would say, masterfully, right, and skillfully put things together and give me the chance to tap into that, right? So that I did for about 20 minutes. And that was pretty cool, very refreshing. And then I, got ready and I drove out to the park. Now, this park is a place where they have like different parts, like tennis courts. They have like, handball courts. They have different sections. And when I would go there, normally I would like bring my tennis racket. I would hit some balls against the wall, you know, for a good half an hour, sometime an hour. And then I may go a little jogging around the field or walking around the field. But this particular morning, when I went there, the entire park was closed. I was like, what's going on here? It was closed. And they were doing construction all around the section where cars usually parked. I'm like, what's going on? First I've seen that. I've seen it partially like blocked off, with the traffic and the roadways. But it was actually no one in the actual on the field, no one playing on the handball court, no one in the skating ring, no one. I'm like, wow. So I felt like I needed to go back home. I'm thinking, is there another park I can go to? And I'm like, let me just see if we can just walk around and see if there's an entrance in the park. So I parked the car eventually, walked to the entrance of the park where the gate was, and it was actually locked. I'm like, oh man, it's locked. So I went back to the car, went inside my car, and I looked and I saw there was like a roadway, like a pathway, but it was concrete around that entire park area, around the playing field. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna walk. And so I went inside and walked around outside of the actual park itself. You ever seen those parks where you have those roadways or those walkways you can walk all the way in the bushes? It was something like that. And it was quiet, peaceful, felt so cool. Yeah, I was like, this is just so right. And of course I'm just enjoying nature and the feeling like just very refreshed and really it was a nice feeling. And of course, did that maybe half an hour to 40 minutes. I came back, came home. Normally a free day like this, I don't do too much. But I found myself sometimes online scrolling. I would scroll on TikTok on different social media platform and just looking for different things that I think for me is intriguing. It's a downtime. I'm on vacation. I'm gonna chill. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just spend some of the time of scrolling and do some practicing. But as I mentioned about replace consumption with creation, I said let me do something different because I do play my horn, my saxophone, and I'm like I don't have as much time as I did before to practice. So I'm like, what can I do that's creative that can allow me to practice and be effective in the area of me soloing and improvising when I do my live shows because that's an area where I need and I want to develop even more. And so I say, you know what? Let's scroll in. I get to my horn and I say, you know what? There's a scale that is mostly used for most of what I do. So I say, how about do something different? So I listen to the scale. I listen to songs that play the scale. All right. I listen to folks that play the scale. So now I said, let me focus on something new, do everything with that one scale in every different areas, in every different me. So I listen to it, I practice it, all right, and I play songs that have the scale. A different kind of thing I'm doing now, and that's a new creation. So guess what now? That I'm gonna keep doing. So even though I don't do a lot of, I don't spend a lot of time to practice, but if I focus and if I get it that focused and that concentrated, I won't need a lot of time to be effective. All right, so that was cool. And then I kind of look back and say, you know what? I see how my day went. I got something new to add to my routine. Now I think now I can do the same thing tomorrow. So now I've put in place a almost like a flow chart, almost like a system now. How we can start each of these 5 days. All right. So of course I'm encouraging you guys, whatever you feel that you want to, implement in your routine as far as an activity. I think this could be a good way to start, to kind of get you going, that kind of thing. So have fun. So tomorrow I'll be back again, and I'll probably let you know on the next segment how it went entire as far as my entire week. All right. So with that said, let's get back to my episode 15. It's flying by, y'all. Yeah. So freedom chasers, tell me, freedom chasers. How's Plan B going? Now, do you know? Do you know that 60% of adults between 40 and 60 understand the economic changes that are coming? They understand that something is up, all right? But still haven't put a solid plan B in place. Why, may I ask? Why haven't you put a plan B in place? Now, it's not because you're lacking intelligence. I'm pretty sure that. It's not because you don't have the years of wisdom and knowledge. It's really about hesitation. It's about hesitation. This morning, as I mentioned to you, when I went to the park, I began to hesitate because I'm like, it's closed. It wasn't what I saw when I went last time. Or I didn't see anyone there, and it was blocked up, blocked off. So I'm like, hmm, what's going on here? And I hesitated in terms of, should I go home? Should I stay? All right. Should I go? Should I stay? And the point is that I believe I made the right decision. But a lot of times, if I was to go back to even before I started, something didn't want me to get up in the morning. I felt like I really was like, you know, hesitating to go to make it happen. I felt a little lazy. Like, should I really go out? Should I really get out of my bed? Because it felt so comfortable. But I did. And so a lot of times we hesitate in making these particular moves. You see, experience gives you awareness, and that's what it's for. Experience really helps us to see what's ahead. But action is what creates the security. Action really solidify the thing in in getting done or happening or coming to fruition or coming to reality, right? Action taken. Excuse me. And so we look at our thinking and where that sits in all of this. Again, a lot of my podcasts I talk about rethinking our thinking, your thinking, right? It's very foundational. And before I get into that part of my message, I realize that this is my 15th segment. I don't know how long I'll be on YouTube or this podcast doing this. And I was thinking, is it worth me keep doing this? I had those really, really serious thought. Is it really affecting people the way I think it needs to or it should? All right. Because, sometimes we don't necessarily see certain responses, certain activity, you wonder, is it really working? Is it really effective? Should I do something else? Because believe it or not, there's a cost to doing all of this. It's not like it's just, I just pop out of nowhere. This is this is uh this is someone putting effort into something that they feel should be benefit or beneficial to not just the audience, but also to me. I don't think I'm there to waste my time or waste your time, right? So the reality is that you want to know that it's effective and it's really impacting people's lives. And I've said to you that in the past few weeks, I've seen many wonderful comments, very encouraging, and that has been for me a motivation and inspiration. And for that, I'm thankful. But the reality is that me not being here could be something that's beyond my control. It doesn't have to be where I'm discouraged or don't want to do it, but life can happen. Anything can happen where you can do something today, and whatever it is tomorrow, it's on pause or is delayed or just life. See, I went to the park this time around. When I went, it was closed. I've never seen that before in all my years of going to that park. It was like it was shut down, and I've been there many times. So I can't go by what I saw the last time because everything was open. It was full, people walking, riding, and all of a sudden, it's a new year. I'm going to the park. I'm like, what's this? So the point is that when I think about me not being here or don't know what will happen in the future, I think about what I'm doing now. And the thought hit me that a lot of what we do or I may do, it may be for 3 years from now. It may be for people to understand it 2, 3 years from now. Because many times is when folks see that, oh my goodness, this thing really made sense, but I didn't see it then. Many people who have said, were saying now, in the next 3 years, get prepared in any way you can. Look at the economy. Look at what's happening for the last year or two. Look at AI. Look at what's happening. They're saying now that there are more people in high school working jobs than those in college, those who graduate. It's changing and it's changing very, very fast. And so preparation is a very important thing to do. And so it's like me saying to someone, you can have this kind of income in 3 months. And I said you have to, bring about 20, $30,000 to get started. How many people could do that? Probably not many. There are many opportunities out there where folks say, listen to me, bring $10,000, bring $20,000. I mean, some of them are hoax, but some of them are real. And if you have the kind of resources, maybe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you can see a real good return. All right. And income towards your future. But many of us, we don't have the kind of money sitting around like that. If you said you can start small, maybe on the $50, maybe on the $20, but this kind of thing will take time. It may take a year or two or three, all right, to see the full benefit of it. Some folks say that doesn't make sense. I can't wait that long. It takes too long. All right. But then now someone starts that same process and go through that process for 3 years. Now they're doing very well. Now you say start it now. You're saying, wait a minute, it's gonna take me 3 years from then. So now it's 6 years now. See? So sometimes it's like when something starts small and you get a hold of it, grow together with the individual. Go together with it because it's still a small risk and you're going together on this journey. But some people say, I'll wait until I see what you have in 3 years from now. Well, then you're 3 years behind, all right? And things that was 3 years prior, not the same thing now. It's very different now for those who may see it now. But that's just a small example of what I'm saying. So plan B, sometimes for some people, is it has to do with their investment, what they feel they have and don't have. But sometimes when it's in your reach, it's easy to get started, low entry to get started. Look at those things, along with the network that's a part of it, and the support you have around it. Explore it some more. At least if those things are in the front end, check it out and see if you can be aligned with that and if it works for you. So, as we thought about looking forward and a plan B, let's start here. The biggest mistake, waiting for the perfect time. That's one of the biggest mistake that folks make. It doesn't exist. Waiting for the perfect time is a bad idea, whatever that is, right? I mean, there are folks now who are saying, I'm not waiting around any longer to figure out what's going to happen in this country. The signs are very clear. And sometimes we keep talking about the person that supposedly is a problem, supposedly is a disruptor, but don't see the good in that. And say, listen to me, maybe someone is saying to me, I've got to get prepared. The eagle lays has its nest way up high in the mountains, way up high on the tall heights, tall trees, tall mountains. And so when they have their young, sometimes the young doesn't want to leave the nest because it's a high thing, scary for the young eagle. And so what the eagle does, he makes the nest very uncomfortable so the young one can get out of it. And and then now you make it so comfortable that that young eagle jumps out. Now it can't really fly, but the eagle is there to support that young one when he's falling down and catches him and catches that baby eagle and then helps it to fly. So a lot of times when we see disruption and things are getting uncomfortable, is something is saying you've got to prepare yourself. Whenever you see things are disruptive. There's disruption around you. All right. Rather than getting distracted by what's going on, you try to figure out what do I need to do to prepare myself to be steady. It's like an anchor. All right. When the seas are rough. So before going any further, I want to spend some time and share some lights on moments with partners.
This moment is for builders, visionaries, and brands with purpose. If you want access, alignment, and momentum, not just motivation, this is your step forward. Join the next level with Keith channel members. Whether you're a freedom chaser, freedom supporter, next level insider, or next level builder, this is where growth gets structure and community becomes currency. And for partners with a mission, we don't just promote brands. We position purpose. Bring your cause, your company, your message, and let's amplify it with intention and impact. Membership opens the door. Partnership expands the reach.
As I stated earlier, waiting for the perfect time is a bad idea. So instead of doing that, do this. Shift your mindset, right? Shift your mindset and think about adaptability. How can I adapt? And what can I adapt to? All right. Because stability isn't about holding on. That's not what it is. It's about being able to move.
Strong organizations are built on more than strategy, they're built on people. At Human Impact Development Consulting, we help organizations strengthen leadership and support staff well-being. We put clear people systems in place that actually work. From HR advisory and policy development to leadership support, we cover it all. Our approach is practical, ethical, and people-centered. If ready for clarity, confidence, and sustainable impact, visit sandrinedunkley.com. Human Impact Development Consulting, where people systems meet performance.
Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries is a global church without walls. We're serving communities through live services, prayer intervention, and outreach that changes lives. Support our $500 monthly giving drive at wamoe.org/give. Shop with purpose at faithmerchandise.com, featuring Dr. Faith's Miracle Lemonade. Book Dr. Faith for therapy, speaking, or ministry at drfaithreborn.com. Grow through professional connection and vocational training at theexcelproject.com. Subscribe to our monthly newsletter and follow us on socials at WAMO Ministries. Become a great motivator. Help us empower minds for success in the kingdom of God. Gospel Foundation International Healing Ministries is a Bible-based ministry. Through worship, prayer, and deliverance, we help individuals find restoration. We equip believers to build stronger families and healthier communities. Footprints of Faith Radio shares real stories of healing and hope. Bible Talk for Children helps kids develop strong moral foundations. Apply for sponsored digital advancement support for growing your reach. Your support makes this possible. We're aiming for a $500 monthly goal. Support, partner, or give today at gfihministries.org/give.
It's a place that's real.
Yes, yes, yes. Moments for partners, as you can see, those individuals that are just there to serve and there to be a blessing. So take advantage. You see for yourself. And with that, I can move on with the rest of this topic here, and I'm telling you, I'm excited about it because I know that many of you are thinking about your plan B. Many of you are probably putting that in place now, and many of you have it, and many of you are going to be going back and be looking at your plan B, checking things out, make sure that it's in place and it is where it's supposed to be. So yes, so there's something about stability that we need and we look for. And you think about us individuals between our 40s and 60s. We were at a very critical juncture in our lives. And given with what we see now in our world, how things are shifting, as I said before, it can be such a blessing, all right, and such a wise thing to understand that time is moving extremely fast, rapid. As far as technology, it is really increasing at a rapid pace, I would say. And so it's not hard to get left behind. I was, I was, um, I was happy to know that when I when I started looking at websites and things like those, and having someone who understand the back end of a lot of things, telling me, listen, it's not just a website. There's more to a website as far as futuristically things that may change, requirements. A lot of times we look online and we think that it's very different from what's offline. It's a similar thing, all right? It's a similar thing, not because it's digital, it carries some of the same principles. It really, really does. And so you think about what we ought to be doing, especially those of us in that age bracket, right? But we ought to start taking small, consistent steps, just small steps. All right. Everything won't change overnight. We know that, right? It's not a drastic change and it's not needed. It's just small things. It's just one scale, one could be one stream, right? Just one move forward. Just step by step by step. And like I said earlier, when I started my morning, it seems insignificant. But at the end of the day, when I finished, I'm like, wow, look how much I've done or did in one day. Just by being conscientious about it, by really being intentional about it, and see how this talk could be as opposed to the finish. What would I see? What would I feel by just beginning the process? All right. And so that's where we look at growth, right? We look at growth. We look at how we put things together, how we stack things together, right? Very, very important. Stacking and growing. Such an important thing. And again, sometimes we may not see how we stacking. But a lot of you already, you've had the experience, you've had the years. Some of you might have tried things before, all right? And it probably didn't work out. But you say, you know what? Let me try a different angle. Let me look at things a little different. Maybe this time let me research a little more. This time, let me not rely on just somebody else to give me an answer. Many people I've spoken with in the past, and they said, I'm gonna ask this person or that person. Not that it's wrong to do that, but sometimes the person who I would say the person who needs that doesn't get it. You know why? Because the person is not in your vision. The person is not in your, is not understanding where you are, and they may not see the importance of what you see, or they're not necessarily for you as you think. I went to church and I prayed for pastor, and I said, "There's something I want to share with you. There's something I want to share with you." And I said, "Yes, I'm so busy. I'm so busy." I said, Is there someone in your church I can speak to?" you can point me to, and I can speak to that person, and then they can bring it to you. The pastor said, go to that lady. And it's funny because when I went to the lady, I just knew that it was such a put off. It was such a like a barrier. All right. And before I could really explain what the pastor told me to her, she was like, I'll call you. I have your number. I'm like, will I get that call? I don't want to be a negative person, but I'm like, the way our attitude was, it was like, you know what? She probably won't even call because she didn't even hear what I had to say clearly as far as what the pastor told me to share with her. So sometimes the pastor doesn't even know that this person could be maybe blocking something that could be pertinent, could be good. I mean, it could be something bad too, right? But it could be something that's good that she at least needs to hear to make a decision. But it probably will never get to her ear because this person may be the person that's called the gatekeeper and just maybe close that door. I don't know. But that's that. But the point is that is those small things that you kind of look at and see, how am I going to look at my next 10 years, my next 20 years, my next 30 years? And what do I need to have in place now? So that's why I think your circle is your currency. I believe that your circle is your currency. And it's very important that your circle is one that I would say one that understands, one that's in the growing mode, one that is actually, for progress, for uplifting, upliftment, all right, not static or stuck in just one way of thinking. Need to think about, all right, about 45% of adults aged 49 to 60 dealing with financial stress feel completely stuck. I'm talking about looking at 45% of adults 49 to 60 with financial stress feel completely stuck. Even more so, right? Over 30% say they couldn't relocate quickly if opportunity came knocking. They could not relocate quickly if opportunity came knocking because they weren't prepared. You know, it's not about money. It's not just about money. All right. It's about sometimes environment, who you're around, what conversations you're having that shapes your future more than you think. There are people right now who have had such great circle of, I would say, people that they can move because of their sheer, I would say, connection that they have. Their circle, they can do things that doesn't even need money initially because of what they put together, how they've established their circle. All right, it's amazing. But that's not a podcast. The point is that most of these things are is because of lack of preparation. And that's the journey I'm on myself. I'm on that journey. And the journey is to what? How can I prepare myself? Make each day count. All right? Because like I said, time is moving very, very quickly. Now, think about as you talked about be able to move, think about mobility. All right? Think about how money moves, how we can move and have money, how mobile we are with that. So looking at mobile money moves, they're very important to think about. It seems like we have a little bit of a delay here with some of the segments, but it's all good. right? That's what life is about. That's why sometimes you can't predict how life will go, right? You can't predict the next moment because life sometimes is filled with a lot of surprises. So the better prepared we are, all right? So I knew before this segment started that there may be some glitches here and there. There may be some stuff here, but guess what? In case this happens, do this. Don't panic. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Let's keep it going, and so on and so on. That again is a part of preparation. There was a discussion based on what happened earlier with the systems and that kind of thing. All right. And so I'm still excited, y'all. I'm still excited about this. And I hope you're having a good time as you're watching. The point is that you have what you need already. You already have what you need, right? Look at your phone. Look at what your phone can do. It can do amazing things. Besides texting, messaging, sending an email, making a phone call, it can do so much more than that. And believe me, there are many, many, many things that you can get locked into that can definitely give you that road to start earning online. All right. Because like I said, you want to be able to move and have that mobility beyond just a posted job. You know, it was so cool to see how many of the companies after COVID, the real blast of it and the aftermath of it, or many companies started having people working, partially from home rather than coming to the job 5 days a week. They may come in 3 days, sometimes 2 days, whatever it is. And just a sense of mobility. People felt so much mobile. They could do so much more because of that kind of openness, to make it happen for people while the company still thrives and still move on, while the individual gets more accomplished, feel more, fulfilled, all right, rested, all right, and peace of mind, less stress. Oh yeah, these are very important things. So we know we know that having that mobility is important. Now, I talk a lot about what I do here on my podcast, and I have had a show where I demonstrated how to reach out and tap in, so to speak. I talk about the hubs. I talk about the fact that you can actually um, begin a search. The hubs. They have a hub on passive income hub. All right. And I'm telling you, I did not just randomly say, okay, there is something that's hip shotted, haphazard. Let me just throw it in there and see what happens. No, well researched, well thought out, easy. If you're 40 to 60, you would have a feel there with this ABC concept. Very simple, very automated. All right. You got a phone and Wi-Fi, you got it. You're good to go. All right. And things like those that's carefully looked at and curated for that audience. A lot of us between 40 and 60 are not trying to be too techy. We're not very techy. We're not drawn to it. We don't really understand it that well. And a lot of times when we get into it, we get lost. Some of us do well. Some of us stick through and we try to make it happen. I thank God for those creators who make it as easy as possible because some things really they make it easy for us to we'll call it to learn it. All right, to get acclimated to it. A lot of things are a lot easier now, and it's a good thing. So that's what I'm here promoting simplicity. I'm trying to say, guys, get the plan B together because I'm telling you, in about 2 3 years from now, a lot of what we think and don't pay attention to is going to be upon us. It's going to be upon us, and we're going to be surprised. And a lot of us are going to maybe shocked, and we're going to say, why didn't I do it 2, 3 years ago? Why didn't I not make this move 2, 3 years ago when I heard what is for me or someone else? But these are very important things. So I'm not here to sell anything onto be any kind of businessman like that. But I'm here to say, listen, folks, it's real, you know, and a lot of us we complain about expenses at the grocery store, at the gas station, and everything's going up, and we it bothers us, and we know that having less resources can be stressful. All right, and being able to double our income because of a simple decision to make an active move, boy, that's smart. All right, to double our income or something that's something mentally sound, or very helpful. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. The job's not giving us raises that quick enough. All right, it does not. And we thank God for the jobs that we have because some people don't have a job, can't get a job, but we can build on that, and that's the idea. And it's good that we are able to be mobile. Right, it doesn't require too much to get things going. I remember when I first decided to try the Uber thing some years ago. And prior to me getting into the Uber thing, I thought it was a long, treacherous process. And surprisingly, I found out when I could do it, I just went in the app. It was a very simple process, much simpler than I thought. And did it for a while. It was helpful. But that's the idea. I explored, I attempted. And that's how I know that a lot of us, we can do this because we just need to just attempt it, take a step, and make an attempt, and it will happen. And yes, and so you got your phone, right? You have your laptop, right? You have your devices. So you're already ahead of the game. You're already ahead of the game. You have your devices already. All right. A lot of folks will leave their homes and they'll leave their wallet or their credit cards, and they will not be worried because they have their phone. They can use their phone and buy things. They can use their phone and do banking. They can use their phone and do just about everything and worry about the rest later. That's how much the mobile phone is a critical part of everyday usage and in a part of our lives. So yes, so I am really, I'm really for adults getting their plan B together. Some of you, it could be crafts, it could be baking, cooking, whatever it is. It could be any kind of skills that you know you have. And you said, how can I monetize this? How can I own this? Tonight, for instance, you look at the broadcast and it went very differently from previous broadcasts, if you noticed. But it's okay. Having ownership, it doesn't matter. I can start this segment at the end and the other one at the beginning, and I can do something in the middle that's different. I can throw something in there because it's ownership, right? I'm the owner here. I can just do whatever I need to do to bring you something that I believe will be a benefit to you. I'm not stuck with someone saying, no, it's not my way. And so, unlike a job where you're told pretty much what to do, right? When you can go on vacation, when you can do certain things, this is freedom, all right? And I said, freedom chasers. I'm challenging you to type in the chat your plan B, all right? I would love to see your plan B at the moment. You can type in what you're doing now and what your plan B is, or just your plan B. I would love to see that. I see a lot of views sometimes, uh, and I'm wondering how many people really watch the entire podcast. Right? How many people watch the entire podcast? I don't know. All right. How many people watch even 5 minutes of this podcast? I don't know. So I can't go by just the views I go by those who really are really watching it and can even go as far as even commenting and tell you what they saw, what they learned, what they heard. All right. So, like I said, I'm not impressed with the views like that. I think they're very cool. They're nice to see the views, but I like the interaction, I like the personal touch when someone say, you know what, I like what you did. And I'm hoping that those who comment on my videos or my podcast, that you have a plan B. And if you do, I would love to hear what that plan B is. All right, I would love to hear it. Uh, we in a very critical time in our world, and I told you, I think a week or two or three ago that my source is not podcast, is not YouTube, is not LinkedIn, it's not the social platforms, it's not the job. No, yes, those are important, and I'm thankful for those things. My source is my creator. He is my source. All right. He's the one that allowed me to breathe and wake up every morning. To me, it's not about my strength, right? A lot of us think it's because of our strength, but I know it's not because of my strength. It's because of mercy and grace that He's given me to be alive to share once more with a community of people from around the globe. I look at this as a great opportunity, and like I said earlier, that maybe most of what I'm saying now, the benefit is 2 3 years from now. Maybe it's not for now. Maybe I'm just speaking into the future. And that's when folks may see it and say, wait a minute, wait a minute. But for those who are grabbing it now, kudos, because there's some of you who are grabbing it now. And I gotta shout you out. You know what I mean? Kudos because a lot of you already seen the benefit of just stepping out, taking a small action, all right? And you begin to see the power of making those small steps, those small decisions. So yes, when it comes to taking action, right? Here's a powerful shift, all right? And this is what I want you to really think about. Take your eyes off the flashy stuff. There's a lot of flashy things online, but don't let that distract you from reality, from what's really solid and can really help you, right? So instead, tap into what? A podcast. Whether it's this one or another one or anyone you find that you can really just kind of take time and simmer and really look into it, get a good feel, right? Why you want to do that? Because see, real conversations go deeper than just little flashpoints and little flashy ads and all the bells and whistles. It goes beyond that. It gives you more of a strategy, more of a direction, in a more of a easy, digestible way. Very important. And you cannot overemphasize network, right? Because the network lets you know that people are also here. You're not some solo person in some basement somewhere. There are people around who are sharing their talents. Some of them is in HR, in the area of HR, all right? And that's a very important part of business and so forth. Some are in different areas, writing and different areas of digital skill sets and areas of even someone who wants to write a book. My book was done because of this platform here, this network. All right? My book was done and rather quickly, and the cost was very reasonable because of this network. So you have a book, hit me up. Say, Keith, I have a book. The the network here, we can make it happen for you because of those things. So yes, you can explore, but what helps you is that when you can sit back and just kind of really watch something that's dedicated to giving you constant ongoing information in a very bite-sized, manageable way, then it ought to make you connect more, understand more, and be able to make more effective moves in starting your journey towards the success, towards doing what you need to do and being very effective in doing so. All right. See, one strong episode could change how you think and what you do next. I give you a story when I was a young kid, probably 6, 7 years old. Back where I was born in the country, we didn't see much. I didn't grow up with TV. I didn't grow up with radio and this kind of fancy stuff. All right. And I remember one time we had a concert at a church, and I went to the concert, and it was the first time seeing a band, an outside band, that came to our church. And I remember going up to the front of the close to the rostrum where the pulpit is, and I was just watching those guys play the music, the band playing, and just that one experience, that one moment when I saw what was happening on stage, I told myself one day I'm gonna play that. Not even really knowing all the names. I said I'm gonna play that. I was referring to the guitar, the bass guitar, the piano, the drums. I was referring to all those things. And lo and behold, I got older. I can play all of them. But at one moment that when I saw that, it just impacted my entire outlook on music and the way I fit into that. And I've made quite a bit of music, and it still is very helpful to me. I don't need a second job like I used to have some years ago. It fills the spot very nicely, right? And so, yes, so that one episode, that one thing can change your trajectory, can give you insights, can make you start to think deeper and start action. Very important. And so, as you may come back week to week and hear me share something, I don't know how many weeks I'll be here. Like I said earlier, I don't know what may change. Whether it's going to be something that's going to be voluntary or something that may be just because of the circumstances. But the point is that 15 episodes, I think I've said quite a bit, and I've tried to stay to the similar vein that we want to get a plan B together. I've said it in so many ways, right? And I hope that that's the case. Um, final thoughts. Final thoughts. And just looking at how this night went, starting from this morning, I'm telling you, I challenge you and I encourage you to make that step. What is your health you're going to work on? What is something in schooling that you want to maybe restart? Maybe some gifting, or maybe you've done some kind of business. You bake cakes. You go with your hands. You whatever it is, you want to just begin something. All right, you just never know. Maybe you start a research, see how you can best. Maybe seek some advice on what you have in mind. Have someone say, you know what? Have you unearthed what you have, or maybe have you look at what you have and maybe do an assessment. All right, and that would tell you where you want to go. Many people have gone to college and they would take something called liberal arts when they're not sure exactly where they want to go. They're not sure what pathway they want to follow. They take a lot of different courses, and amongst those courses, they figure, you know what? I like law, or I like science, or I like art, or like this. You know what I mean? It kind of helps to kind of refine their direction, and they see based on what they feel passionate about, what hits them, and they go for it. All right. So my final thoughts is the next 3 years, as I mentioned to you before, will shape the next 10 years. Your next 3 years is going to shape your next 10 years and beyond. AI is not slowing down. Jobs will continue to change and many will disappear. Fact. Waiting is no longer safe. Waiting is a risk. This is the window to find the right mobile opportunity. If you find something out there, kudos. Keep going. Maybe you can even share it here. All right. The reality is that finding the right mobile opportunity is not easy, but you got to find it because that would be a great step in that direction. Build something that's flexible. I mentioned about mobile. All right. And what it does, this will be able to give you options, right? Create options for yourself. Freedom isn't something you stumble into. You cannot just randomly walk into freedom. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's something you build step by step, brick by brick. All right. So the real question is, how is your plan B going? How is your plan B going? Are you working on it? Are you thinking about it only? Are you in the process of doing it? Are you doing it? Have you checked on it? Have you looked at anything and have questions? I always say to people, sometimes you may look at something, you have questions, write it down and ask because sometimes the answer is just a question away. And you never want to miss out because I'm not asking. This segment has been, for me, a real fun, pleasurable one. But still, in my heart of hearts, there's a sense of urgency that I'm feeling and a sense of concern that I'm having because sometimes you look for responses and responses tell you and sometimes can gauge where people are. All right. But like I said, the next 2 years is going to be very, very critical. And you want to start making moves now. Thank you for listening. You guys are awesome. You make me do this. You make me prepare for every week to come and share. And I take it as a joy to do so. I'm seeing where in my own pursuit things are building nicely. I'm happy with the growth I'm seeing, and I'm happy that I made those steps. So I'm not telling you something I'm not doing, I've not done or tried. So because I'm seeing where it's going, I'm even more excited to say, hey, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's make it happen. Let's do this. All right. But please, I would like you to share in the comment section when you get a chance, when you see this particular podcast, please let me know what your plan B is. All right. I would love to know. And with that said, let me say thanks again. Take care, be safe, and God bless.
If today's episode spoke to you, it's because you're ready. Ready for your money to work for you. Ready for practical steps, not just motivation. Ready for faith-led financial freedom. Ready to build stability, peace, and confidence for your family. You're not alone on this journey. The Next Level isn't just a podcast. It's a movement toward freedom, one episode at a time. Stay connected. Listen anytime at podcast.keithmerritt.com. Explore the Next Level Movement Hub. Subscribe on YouTube at Keith Merritt. Like, share, comment. Your engagement helps this message reach more families. Take your next step. Visit keithmerritt.com/impact/the next level. Subscribe for the latest blog from the Freedom Resource Hub and join the Next Level Resource Network. Choose the hub that fits your journey. Music and speaking, family protection, digital learning, passive income, or Keith's book and reading hub. Press play. Take action. Your next level is calling.